Hello, I'm Mimi, and today I'd like to bring you along with me for a day in my life as a picture book illustrator. I'm a morning person, so I like to start my day quite early because it's when I feel the most productive. So lately I've been getting set up in my studio pretty early, around 6:30 a.m. with my laptop and a cup of tea. This video is sponsored by Skillshare, but more on that later. I've been using Google Calendar lately because I've had a lot of projects to keep track of, and today I have a few things to do, mostly working on the final illustrations for a book, but I also need to send some emails. I want to do some illustrating or painting just for fun in the afternoon, and we also just happen to have a house inspection today because we're renting. So I'm going to get straight into some illustrating for this picture book in Photoshop. I know I've shown you this before, but I have a 2-in-1 laptop that transitions really easily into a drawing tablet. So I can go ahead and set that up with my wireless mouse and keyboard on either side. This will be my third picture book that I'm working on right now. My first illustrated book, The Love That Grew, came out this March, and my second book, Nice and Slow, is being released later this year. And although they can be really big projects, I always really enjoy illustrating them, and I feel really fortunate to be able to do this as part of my job, especially on a quiet day in my studio with the trees and the birds outside my window. I can't show you in detail what I'm illustrating exactly, but it's a bigger book than the last two I illustrated, and it's quite a fun, challenging one because it's not what I would usually draw. Because it's quite a big book, I'm just working on it in small sections at a time, and for the part that I'm illustrating today, I've already drawn some sketches and had those approved, so I'm getting started on the final color illustrations, and hopefully I can get through at least one page today. At around 8:30 or so, I like to get dressed for the day and make myself some breakfast. And since it's pretty chilly, I'm gonna make some porridge with banana because it's warm and comforting and will fill me up. I probably stop to take a break every 2 hours or so, usually for something to eat or a cup of tea, which is actually one of the tricky things about working from home is that you're never far from the kitchen, so it's hard not to get up for a snack every 5 minutes when you're wanting to procrastinate. It's a bit of a gloomy day today, but that makes it extra cozy to have my porridge inside before I get back into illustrating. So it's about 9 a.m. now, and I'm going to spend another couple of hours drawing. I just work through each section quite slowly, first coloring in all of the base colors and then going through and adding shading and texture afterwards. I tend to work in about 2-hour chunks and then take a break, which helps break up my day and also gives my eyes and body a rest from being in the same position. I've been quite lucky so far that I've not had any major issues in my wrist or hand from drawing, which I hear other people talk about sometimes. But I did see a physiotherapist lately for some discomfort in my shoulder from drawing, and it's now feeling much better after doing the exercises they gave me. I'm not a doctor, but I do think it's important for illustrators and for any job where you're doing a lot of repetitive movement that you look after your body, give yourself lots of breaks, and see a professional like a doctor or physiotherapist if you start getting any pain or discomfort from illustrating, because these things usually don't fix themselves and you really don't want them to get worse. It's quite clear to see how much work my arm and my wrist are doing when I'm illustrating, especially when the footage is sped up. So even though it doesn't seem like it would be a physical job, try not to underestimate the impact on your body because it can be a strain on your arm and shoulder, but also very sedentary for the rest of your body, which can have its own health impacts. Since I started my day early, I'm going to have a nice long lunch break, and it's turned out to be quite sunny, so Dan and I are going to pick up some goodies from the bakery and take them to our local duck pond. I love bakeries and just baked goods in general, and taking a picnic to a park is one of my favorite things to do. I don't always get out at lunchtime, maybe once or twice a week if the weather is good, but it's always so refreshing when I do. It's just so nice to be out in the fresh air, have a break from the computer, and get out of my own head to look at pretty flowers and big trees and anything else exciting. I've found a nice secluded picnic bench for us to have our lunch surrounded by some big trees. The local parks in northwest Tasmania don't get very busy on a weekday, so there's never an issue finding somewhere to sit. I've brought a thermos of tea with me, which is essential for a picnic at this time of year. And then I bought a wrap from the bakery, and I also got myself a gigantic biscuit for dessert because I am not the kind of person who has the willpower to go to a bakery and not buy something sweet. It's just really nice to sit outside to have lunch sometimes without all of the usual distractions of being inside with my phone or the TV. And it's also a great opportunity to collect some inspiration and see what the natural world is up to. There are lots of beautiful trees here, and I especially love the ones with yellow pom-poms on them, which I think are golden wattle, because they're so joyful and pretty to watch blowing in the breeze. So let's go for a little walk around the park and see if we can collect any ideas for illustrations. I'm the kind of person who goes for a walk and has to stop and look at everything, but in my defense there are so many things to look at, like this tree that has bright pink tips on it and then they turn blue further down.
And then they go blue. Check that out.
Or these leaves that are a really rich, deep purple colour. Or these little acorn tops that would make a super cute hat for a little critter. There are always things to see in a park, and I would definitely justify a trip like this as research for my job because it's important to allow yourself as an illustrator to get out and refresh your ideas and inspiration. Go for a walk and see what you find, or take yourself somewhere that inspires you because it's never a bad idea to get away from the sketchbook or iPad for an hour and just have a look around. And then the cutest thing happens. We realize that it's duckling season and there's a family of ducks having a snooze in the sun, and it's just so sweet to see them all huddled up with their parents watching over them. They're so cute and fluffy. There's just something about baby animals that's really heartwarming and makes me smile. On our way back to the car, we see more ducklings, and now I know where I'm going to be spending all of my time over the spring.
You happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. That's our babies. So it's probably about time that I get back to work after a really long and refreshing lunch break. But first I want to say thank you to the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare, who have so many classes to help with becoming a digital illustrator. Skillshare is an online community that has loads of creative classes for learning a new skill, and I love that the classes are made by lots of different creators with their own perspective and experiences on tons of different creative topics. I think if you're wanting to become an illustrator yourself, then this class called Composition for Illustration, 10 Drawing Tips in Procreate by Eva Miklas is especially helpful. She gives loads of great advice about drawing strong compositions and how to balance the elements in your artwork, and shows lots of examples as well. It's great for beginners or for anyone who needs to brush up on some composition ideas, and I found it a really helpful refresher myself. I really enjoy Skillshare for investing in learning new skills or improving my existing illustration skills, and so if you would also like to give it a go and see what value the classes can provide you, then the good news is that the first 1,000 people to use my link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thanks so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to my workday. So I'm back at home and I'd really like to draw a little duck after seeing all the ducklings at the park, but I'll get some more work done on the picture book first, and then I can do some of my own drawing. Sometimes I have to pinch myself that I'm a professional illustrator now, drawing picture books for publishers. It's crazy to think that less than 3 years ago I did hardly any drawing and was working as a graphic designer. It's been such a long journey to get here, with drawing nearly every day and building my Instagram account and teaching myself digital illustration, but it also feels like hardly any time has passed at all. I'm just really grateful that I get to do this, and also that I get to share it with you. I've been sharing my journey from the beginning, and it's nice that we can do it together. It can be a lot to juggle, and if you watched my latest video about how much I've been working, you'll see that I've been struggling to keep on top of my growing list of projects, but honestly, I really love being a picture book illustrator and also a content creator, so I'm super lucky to be doing them. On days like this, I get to sit in my studio with my computer and bring stories to life, and I think that's really cool. So if you're watching this video because you dream of being a picture book illustrator, then give it everything you've got and go for it. Practice your art as much as you can, build your portfolio, share on social media, do everything you can to put yourself in a position where you're happy with your art and you could submit your portfolio or be found by a publisher who might be browsing social media looking for artists. It won't happen overnight, but keep taking small steps toward your dreams, and you never know where you could end up in a couple of years from now. So it's about 3 p.m. now, and I've made some good progress on the picture book, and I'm going to do some illustrating just for fun for myself in another room. I'll take a few minutes to make myself a nice big cup of tea first, and also a little snack because I got sent this lovely box of goodies from the nice people at Treats, who do food subscription boxes from different places around the world. The box they sent me is full of Polish treats, which is so fun to get in the mail.
Look at all these treats.
And they've given us a discount for 15% off your first box, which I'll leave in the description if you'd like to get some fun treats in the mail as well. I love snacks, especially international snacks, so I'm having some of the gingerbread they sent me with my cup of tea, and maybe I'll let Dan have some as well since he's filming for us today. I've got tea and snacks at the ready, and now I'm going to enjoy some time this afternoon drawing just for myself, and after seeing all of the sweet little ducklings at the pond today, I really want to draw one. I talked a bit about my drawing process in a recent video, and I also share my process a lot on my Patreon, but basically I draw a sketch first and then use that as a reference to draw my colored layers and eventually add lots of shading and details. Usually when I'm drawing something just for fun that I'm going to post on Instagram later, I keep the composition pretty simple and something that I can draw in under 2 hours. So I'm just drawing a little yellow duck sitting among some flowers. It's pretty important for me to maintain a habit of drawing cute things just because I want to, partly because it makes me happy, partly because it helps keep me in the habit of coming up with ideas, and partly because these are the illustrations that I post on Instagram, which has a few benefits like acting as my portfolio. I sometimes wonder if I'll get bored of drawing because I illustrate so much, but I've been drawing a lot for over 2 years and I still really enjoy it, and I love being able to sit down in the afternoon with either a podcast or some TV on in the background and just escape to my own world of illustration. I think as well, focusing so much of my time on drawing cute, happy things is probably good for my mental health because it's hard to be stressed when I'm spending my afternoon drawing a yellow duckling among the flowers. So I've had a really good day today, doing lots of drawing and having a nice picnic lunch, and now I have an illustration to post on Instagram later as well. I'm going to go and schedule another YouTube video to post later tonight because it's a Wednesday and you'll be seeing this one next week. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, then go ahead and give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already to see a new arty video every week. Also, if you'd like access to my drawing tutorials and monthly illustration club, then consider joining my community over on Patreon, where I share lots of goodies every month, and you can even browse the main articles and videos that are available before you join via the Patreon page on my website. So I'll leave those links in the description below. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!